And then he tells me his name. Then he's like, oh, sorry about my sister. And then he moves away. And then I hear my heart go, Big Bing, Kiko, Big Bing, Kiko. I'm like, he likes me. He definitely likes me. That time of the year is upon us again. The time of the year when single Pringles are not allowed to breathe. That time of the year where a particular gender gets prepared for cultural dance with white singlets, boxers, socks, and handkerchief. The only thing that is left for them to do is to shake their wrists. In my spare time, I was just thinking about love. I happen to be a hopeful romantic. In my teenage years, I was a hopeless romantic. That is what I would call myself because I was too in love with the idea of love, too in love with falling in love, too in love with anything love, romance. It was too much. It got me to a point where I was like, why would I decide that I'm a hopeless romantic? That is a very bad adjective to classify myself as because I'm not hopeless. I'm hopeful. So I'm a hopeful romantic now. It took me back to a time when I first found out that I was in love. So the first time I ever had a crush on anybody that I remember, I was actually 6 years old. I was in primary school. So there was this boy who was in his own class and he was doing so well that they thought to promote him to the next class. So he was promoted a step to my class and the teacher was going to introduce this new pupil to the whole class. I think I was doing something on my desk. I think I was coloring something or tracing something like that. I have always been a bookworm. I like to bury my head in a book, so I'm very sure that's something I was probably doing. I think that's even how I ended up being a hopeless romantic. Back to my story. The teacher was introducing this pupil to class, and I was halfway in what I was doing, and I was actually just looking up for looking up. See, but as I looked up, yeah, yeah, I couldn't look away. I started hearing my heart go, Big Bing, Kiko, Big Bing, Kiko, Big Bing, Kiko, Big Bing, Kiko. Obviously, I'm not sure I knew the syllable you at the time, but let's just go with it. I was like, oh, this boy is fine. I just knew that I liked the boy. I'd met my crush. I was in crush already. Then they were looking for where to put him to sit down. I was really, really hoping and praying that he would sit down with me. But I don't know why I was hoping and praying that he would sit down with me. There was no free seat beside. There was one person on this side and another person on the other side, and another person in front of me and another behind me. As coincidence or fate will have it, they told the person sitting beside me to get up and go to another seat and the guy should sit beside me. And the explanation was that even though this guy was smart and he had just come out from his previous class, he needed some coaching and some putting through for him to catch up with this new class. And I happened to be one of the brilliant pupils in my class at the time. So I was the one that was supposed to put him through. I felt like this is meant to be. Because why would God take away someone else and put him in my seat? It has to be that we're meant to be. I had already decided that this guy was my husband at 6. I don't in my head I had already seen us getting married. I would even go days daydreaming about this, drawing how two of us will get married, walk down the aisle, and then we'll kiss the bride and we'll live happily ever after. I was just thinking about stuff like that. This is literally as this whole thing is going on. The dude has not even sat down. The boy. I was 6, he was 5, but it didn't matter to me at the time. You know? Because childish love, we don't really care about stuff like that. Love is love for us. We just love people. We don't think about, oh, he's older than me. Oh, he's shorter. Always, he was shorter than me. I didn't care either. That was my problem. I was in love, and that's all that mattered. I started to put him through, and the more I put him through, the more he started to pick up in class, and the more he would come to me to ask me questions, the more I would feel like, ah, I'm sure he likes me. Like I don't know where I got the impression that he likes me. You know when someone just being nice to you and being cordial with you, but because you want to build this picture in your mind, you just decide that they like you. Like I would gossip with my sister about it. Like I would just tell my sister, "Oh, this guy spoke to me today. Spoke to me today about what? He asked me a question about an assignment to see if he got it right. That was what he asked, and that was me assuming that this guy definitely has a crush on me. Boy, was I mistaken. Because as he came to this class, he started to pick up and started to get really good at it that he stopped meeting me for any kind of assistance. He ended up being the most popular guy in my class. And then there was this other girl that was the most popular girl in my class, and he started liking her. I don't know why schools do this rubbish, but in my school, my teacher literally came to class one day to say, let's play a game, and thought that the best game to play was to find out who's the most beautiful girl and the most beautiful boy. Everybody ended up voting this guy that I liked and that popular girl as the most beautiful girl. So all of a sudden, they started shipping them together. So everybody was saying, oh, he and she, they are the most popular, they're the most beautiful people. So the two of them can date. Like we're doing decent things in as 6 year olds. Yeah. It sounds really silly right now, but at that time it was literal heartbreak for me. Like I was dealing with a childish heartbreak. Like my heart was broken in pieces and I was hurt. As at when I was 9 years old, this is like 3 years later, and I'm still liking this guy. And I'm seeing him starting to like two people, three people at the same time. I was angry. I had an assignment, a homework to do. I usually do my homework in school. Like once my teacher gives me homework, I quickly finish the homework in school because all I want to do is read. And I don't want anything to come between me and my reading. So when I go home, I do the chores my mom has allocated for me to do. Once I'm done with that, the next thing on my mind is to read a book until I sleep. Or if there is light, then I watch cartoons. So I finished my homework in school already. I got home and my mom was like, "Are you sure you've done your homework?" I'm like, "Yes, I've done it." But I brought the homework to see if I actually wrote the right things. And this homework had a page where you could write an essay or a letter to someone. So I was like, maybe I should write something. So I brought a sheet of paper and I started to write down a love letter to this guy where I was confessing how much I felt about him and how heartbroken I am that he doesn't love me back. Love at 9. I started telling the story of how I first saw him and how I fell in love with him. Then spent stuck sha. Then I folded it and I put it in my school bag. Two things were in my mind. Number one, I'm not going to send this. Number two, I would probably send it, but I wouldn't address my name on it so he wouldn't know who gave it to him. I think at that time, number one was me. I actually have had so many crushes in, even after this crush, I've had so many crushes and I have never, ever once wanted to tell them. I knew that if I told someone I like the guy, if I tell the guy I like him and he happens to like me back, the next thing they are doing is shipping us together. They're like, okay, you guys are girlfriend and boyfriend now. And I just didn't want to be girlfriend and boyfriend. So I didn't even know what I wanted from this guy. I think I just wanted him to like me back, even though we do nothing about it. I just wanted to feel like my feelings were not unrequited. So I put it in my bag and I went on to either watch TV or read. I'm not sure which one. And then of all days, my mom decides that this is the day she's going to check whether I've done my assignment. And she goes there and she finds this letter and she calls me and she flogs the life, flogs the humanity, the senselessness out of me. She asked me, "Did I send you to school to fall in love or in crush, or did I send you to school to read your book and pass your exams?" They flogged me. She now reported me to my dad as well. I was very embarrassed. That gave me sense too. I knew that I was not going to ever tell this guy that I liked him. I also was deluded. Like there were times when I would feel like he likes me, like he was giving me hints that he likes me. Because sometimes I would catch him looking at me, so I would assume that okay, if he's looking at me, that means he likes me, right? Now I don't think so because there are times when I can be having BRF and I could be lost in my thoughts that I'm looking at someone but I'm not actually looking at you. So if you assume that I'm admiring you because I'm looking at you, you are on your own. Then there was one time in class too where we both scored the highest in our class, and our teachers, as always, will do this thing where you stand up, everybody will clap for you. So we both stood up. I was a few seats behind, and he was a few seats in front, so I could see the back of his head while I was behind. And I was just looking at the back of his head and admiring the back of his head. How old was I at this time? I think I was 10. Like I thought this is what people do as teenagers or young adults, like 10. Anyway, I was admiring the back of his head, and he suddenly turns back and catches my eye. I was just too stunned, so I was just there, like staring back. And then he goes, like he winks at me and turns back, and then I hear my heart go, big bing, Kiko, big bing, Kiko, big bing, Kiko. I'm like, he likes me. He definitely likes me. He likes me. Like he can't tell me nothing. Like this is it. He likes me. My sister was my number one gossip mate. So we'll go home and I will teach her about how this happened. These are the signs I know that he likes me. The next day I find out that he likes another girl. But did I stop liking him? No. Some other guy was even telling me how much he likes me and all. Did I give him face? No. 10 years old, I'm being loyal to one guy. Why? I don't know. How I solidified the fact that I really love this guy was that we graduated at 10. For the next 3 years, I didn't see him and I still liked him. I was in high school, seeing other boys in high school. And until I was 13, I still liked a guy that I wasn't seeing. But I literally had to, at some point, talk myself out of it because it wasn't making sense anymore. It had started to become ridiculous, and it was time for me to move on into having more crushes with other guys. Because there were lots of guys, there were lots of options. I didn't need to be stuck on one. We happened to meet at another event, and I saw this guy again, and he was there with his friend. And I started to have a crush on his friend instead. Like his friend was fine. I was like, okay, that's a handsome guy right there. At this point, we were teenagers. And his friend was giving me the vibes. He was saying, I'm like, yeah, girl, I see you. I hope you see me, see you, as I see you too. He wasn't hiding it. He was actually admiring me. So we're doing this eye flirting thing. I was just looking at him like, I make sure he catches my eye. I look away. He looks. He makes sure I catch his eye. He looks away. He had a younger sibling that he would just make sure that the sibling comes near me. Then I'll play with the sibling. Then he will now walk up to me and say, "I'm sorry about my sister. Okay, let me carry her." Then he'll be like, "Oh hi," and then he tells me his name, and then he moves away, and then he comes back later and he's like, "Oh, my friend says that you guys went to the same school." I'm like, yes. I was like, oh, that's nice. I actually went to the school too. I never saw you. It was like a few classes ahead. So you know how seniors don't know their juniors. I couldn't help but notice that this first crush of mine was jealous as hell. Like he was not having it. He was trying to get his friend away from me. Also came to try to talk to me now. Like he came straight. I could see him being nervous. I was like, oh really? You wait for me to stop liking you to start liking me. Okay, cool. I'm sorry. Not gonna happen. Right now I'm more interested in your friend. Okay. I mean, that admiration for his friend was also short-lived. I moved from there afterwards. That's what I remember. And I was just kicking as I was remembering this. So I was like, since I don't have any content to give you guys, let me just share this. This was the first crush I had. And I believe that that was the first time I was in love. Because can you have a crush on someone for 7 years? You guys tell me in the comment section if you think it was still a crush or if it was love. Like young childhood, childish love. As much as this is sounding interesting, I had a 6-year-old heartbreak, a 7-year-old heartbreak, an 8-year-old heartbreak, 9 years old heartbreak, 10, 11, 12, 13 heartbreak. So, guys, that's the story. Until next time, I love you guys. Happy Valentine's Day. Bye.